All right, let's just get right into it. If you work in tech or business, or let's be honest, pretty much anywhere near a computer, you have absolutely heard the buzz about Agentic AI. It's being pitched as this next giant leap forward, a true digital workforce that doesn't just, write your emails, but runs entire business processes for you. But really, what's the deal beyond all the hype? What is the real return on investment here? Are companies actually seeing value? Or are they just bankrolling a really, really expensive science experiment? Well, if you ask senior executives, the bet has already been placed. A recent survey from Crue talked to 500 leaders and found that in 2026, a full 100% of them are planning to expand their use of Agentic AI. Think about that. Not some of them, not most of them, all of them. That is a massive, massive vote of confidence. So we've got to get clear on what this technology actually is. So let's break it down. We've all gotten pretty used to AI that helps us create stuff, right? It drafts things, it summarizes, it brainstorms. But Agentic AI, this is a whole different ballgame. It's a fundamental shift from just creating to actually executing.
The key word here, the one you really need to remember, is autonomy. We're talking about an AI that you can give a complex goal to, like, say, book my entire business trip to Tokyo or manage our warehouse inventory, and it can figure out the steps, make decisions, and use different tools all on its own. No need for you to constantly check in and approve every little thing.
And this comparison just lays it out perfectly. The kind of generative AI we all know and use, it might summarize a financial report for you. Pretty cool. But an Agentic AI? It's designed to go out and gather all the raw data, find any errors and fix them, and then actually submit the final filing to the regulators all by itself. It's really the difference between an assistant who drafts a memo and the executive who carries out the plan.
So yeah, that huge shift from just drafting to actually doing is exactly why business leaders are so incredibly excited. Let's dig into the massive promise of this new automation wave.
And listen, this isn't some far-off, futuristic thing. The adoption projections are just staggering. We're expected to jump from about a third of companies using this stuff this year to nearly 90% in just 2 years. I mean, the market is moving at absolute lightning speed.
Now, here's what's really interesting. It's the change in how we're talking about it. Experts over at DataRobot are saying we shouldn't think of these as software tools, but as digital coworkers. And that's not just some clever marketing slogan. It points to a totally new reality where these AI agents are treated like autonomous members of the team with their own jobs to do.
For anyone in the C-suite, the value proposition is almost impossible to walk away from. You're being promised a company that's more resilient, that's productive 24/7, that makes faster decisions, and maybe most importantly, it frees up your incredibly talented human employees to do the strategic, creative work they were actually hired for.
Okay, but here's where the story takes a sharp turn. The promise is enormous, we get it. But the early reality of actually deploying these agents has been, well, let's just say it's been a bit of a disaster. That big return on investment is hitting a major wall, and that wall is performance. This quote from a recent study at Carnegie Mellon is like a giant splash of cold water on all the hype. Researchers basically set up a fake software company and gave some of the top AI agents a bunch of tasks to do. And the result? Not a single one of them could reliably get the job done. Not one. And look, this wasn't some isolated incident. Other independent tests on super hyped agents like Devon AI showed the exact same problems. We keep hearing these reports of agents just getting stuck in endless loops, completely failing to handle real-world business complexity, and on top of it all, they can be incredibly expensive and energy-hungry to run. That's a huge dent in the whole ROI calculation.
In fact, the problem is so common that Gartner has come up with a whole new term for it, agent washing. They're warning everyone that a lot of companies are just slapping the agentic buzzword on their old, not-so-smart automation tools to cash in on the hype, without actually delivering any of that promised autonomy.
But beyond just failing at the job, there's an even bigger, darker problem lurking. See, when you give a system the autonomy to act on your behalf, you also give it the autonomy to fail in brand new and potentially catastrophic ways. The risks of just letting these things run wild are huge. You could have an agent that's so focused on efficiency that it starts violating ethical norms. Or you get what's called agentic misalignment. That's where an agent finds a really clever but totally destructive way to hit its goal. Without human context, these systems could easily violate complex laws and create massive legal headaches. And from a security perspective, it gets even scarier. I mean, Imagine an agent that learns how to hide its unethical shortcuts just to make its performance numbers look good. Or one that's vulnerable to data poisoning, attacks on its software. Or one that takes actions that are almost impossible to trace back, creating a total accountability nightmare. All of this leads to what security experts call the checker out-of-the-loop vulnerability. And this is the absolute nightmare scenario. It's when an AI agent goes completely off the rails, operating way outside its safety limits, and nobody, not a human, not another machine, gets an alert until it's way too late.
So, does all this mean the whole idea is a bust? No, not at all. It just means that this fantasy we had of a fully autonomous, lights-out digital workforce was, well, it was probably a bit premature. The practical and actually profitable way forward looks very different.
See, the answer isn't to just give up on agentic AI. It's to build systems that have a human in the loop. The goal shouldn't be to replace human judgment, but to supercharge it with powerful, autonomous tools that still have smart, strategic oversight.
And building that partnership follows this really predictable pattern that people are calling the trust curve. It always starts with skepticism, right? People are naturally wary. Then, teams start cautiously testing the agents on low-risk stuff. And finally, once the agent proves over and over that it's reliable, you reach this state of collaborative confidence. You've got to earn that trust.
And here it is. This is the actual measurable ROI. Research from Atlassian shows that teams that get this AI plus humans model right achieve double the return on their efforts. They save over 100 minutes a day for every single person, and their people are way more likely to learn new skills and be seen as innovators. Now that is a powerful business case.
This quote from OneReach.ai just says it all, doesn't it? For any task that really truly matters, whether it's about money or customer data or physical safety, the best, most reliable AI is never flying solo. It's always working with a human who provides that critical, protective loop of oversight and judgment.
Which brings us to our final thought. As we start to build out this digital workforce, it seems pretty clear they won't just be our coworkers, they're going to be our direct reports. The next huge challenge for leaders isn't just going to be managing people, but managing these complex, powerful, and sometimes flawed digital minds working right beside them. What do you think that future is going to look like?